Welcome to the Soul Archaeology podcast, a space for connection, resonance, witnessing, and learning. Together we'll harvest medicine from the spiral of life, sharing conversations with other embodied humans who have navigated their own initiations and found alignment with their true soul essence. With weekly astrology, energy updates, embodied conversation, and channeled teachings, this is a space for you to land and find resonance with the spiral of your own soul. Hello. Welcome back to Soul Archaeology. This episode is jam-packed. I honestly don't know how I'm going to get through all of the notes I have written down, the material I'd like to cover in this episode. This week in particular is one of the most significant weeks of our lifetimes. I think it's definitely one of, if not the most significant week of the entire year, but really our lifetimes as well. We're in a portal where the very fabric of our reality is being rewoven. From February 13th until February 20th, we have incredibly significant transits that are setting into motion changes that will impact the next few days, the next few weeks, the next few years, centuries, eras. And these transits are accelerating our evolutionary speed as a species. We have solar flares happening this week that are incredibly significant. The solar activity has been increasing, as we know. Many of us are experiencing a lot of symptoms connected to that. Physical symptoms, headaches, pressure, emotional waves, anxiety, intensity in the physical body. If that comes like a wave out of nowhere, it's likely the solar activity or an astrological transit. And because the Earth is ascending herself, she's upgrading, she is working on shifting her frequency. She's going through the same exact process we are. Surprise, surprise, we are Earth. We are her. We are organic matter. And we are ascending and upgrading because she is. And as she does, as the mother does, we're doing as well. As above, so below. So as we integrate this influx of light, the solar energy is light. Light is consciousness. I've talked about this a lot in past episodes, but there might be some new people here. So welcome if that's you. And I'm going to be covering some things I've talked about quite a lot in this episode, but there's a lot of new material as well. And just things that I'm observing as I personally go through this upgrade process with you. But when we have these solar flares, there's obviously more solar light entering the planet, entering the atmosphere, which is upgrading the Earth, upgrading our own physicality, our own consciousness. Like I said, light is consciousness, so it illuminates our consciousness and it activates our consciousness. And because our physical bodies are quite dense, and the Earth is actually quite dense as well, when this high frequency light enters the atmosphere, hits the Earth, hits our own physical cells, it can feel activating. It's activating the density within ourselves. So we are quite literally having to integrate shadow, integrate emotion, integrate fear, the emotional imprints that hold more density, that keep us more rooted and anchored and heavy. We're having to purge a lot. And so there has been profound solar activity this year and last year as well. And it can just feel like a lot. So I just want to touch on that. If you're interested in tracking the solar activity, the information is really easy to access. You can just Google it. I think there's a government website that tracks it. I think that NASA tracks it. I think that there's also other websites too. But maybe just get in touch with that and just sense and feel, just like you listen to this podcast for your astrological weather report, maybe just tuning into the solar activity if it feels in alignment. Another thing to track is the Schumann resonance, and that is the vibration of the Earth. And so It's pretty incredible because we can see when there are spikes in the Schumann resonance, our own physical bodies experience spikes as well. So you can call them ascension symptoms. You can call them just activations, which I do. And it's just quite literally frequency activating the density within ourselves, what we hold and carry, stuck and stored emotions, trauma, pain points. So we are in an upgrade process. And when I first started down this path, I mean, I feel like we've all been in an upgrade process throughout our lives, throughout our soul lives as well. But so much of this just felt super esoteric. I really didn't have a lot of people to talk to about it. I just had maybe one friend that I could talk to about these things and what I was channeling and receiving and what I was finding out about my own experiences through working with and training in different modalities. And now it's being backed by science. So I think about the telepathy tapes. I think about scientists studying the impact of solar flares on our cells. And it's just amazing to see that there's so much integration of this knowledge in our daily lives and proof, even though, we don't technically need proof. I don't need proof. I've really put a lot of faith in what I receive and what I believe in my channelings and the downloads that I receive. I always hold it loosely, knowing that I'm open to my mind changing and shifting around it. But I will say that a lot of it has become true. So it's just nice when there's proof and when more people can kind of digest it and feel into it and pull it through their own truth channel. And this week in particular is, I would say, the most significant week of 2026. There are a few weeks in April and July which are incredibly significant as well, but this week is the week that sets it all in motion. We are at the point between death and rebirth. We're at this point where so much is dissolving. We're having to quite literally see in real time structures and systems, external and internal, dissolve in real time, right before our eyes. And we've been in this death portal. I mean, all of Neptune in Pisces has been a death portal the last 14 years, especially 2025. It was a snake year in the Chinese zodiac. It was this Mars retrograde, Venus retrograde, this dance between Neptune and Saturn in Pisces, the North Node entering Pisces. So we have been in a deep study, a deep relationship with Pisces. And Pisces is the 12th sign of the zodiac. It's connected to the 12th house. It's connected to endings, loss, death, but also merging and dissolution and dissolving into one source consciousness. It has been a massive spiritual upgrade, and I am rather happy for us. I am really happy for us. I'm so grateful that I got to start this journey with you in 2023, the end of 2023, I guess August 2023. And I'm so grateful that we've been able to traverse these last few years together, getting to witness in real time and in real relationship with people within this community what it's like moving through this energy. We are wrapping up so many micro and macro cycles right now. So much death, so much birth. It's incredible. And I wanted to mention, before we jump into the energy of this week, that my group mentorship, The Vessel, is open for enrollment. I opened it to the waitlist on Friday the 13th, which was so special. We got halfway filled, actually, in one day. So I'm so grateful to everyone on the waitlist. This has been so fun. There is an early bird special through Friday, February 20th. This is an intimate cohort, so the pricing reflects that. We'll be doing incredibly deep work together. We will be studying. We will be learning new skills, sharpening our psychic abilities together. We will be learning, healing, dissolving, and birthing ourselves within this container. I created this container right now to bridge into the new earth, the new world. Because what I've found in the many years that I've been doing this healing work and working with hundreds of people is that initiations require containment. They require containers and vessels to hold and witness the transformation. We are at, I think, the most pivotal point in the evolution of our human consciousness and our evolution as a species. And I think many of us feel that even in our own personal lives, how much is changing and how rapidly it's changing and how pivotal this time is. So I created this container to be a vessel, to be a chamber, to be a portal of transformation. It aligns with the seasons, it aligns with the earth medicine, it aligns with the zodiac. And we'll be walking this bridge from 2026 to 2027, likely the two most impactful years of our existence, of our incarnation, together as a group. So being witnessed in rites of passage work is one of the essential ingredients in an initiation, for an initiation to really take, for transformation to really unfold in the right way. And that's what this container is. It's a place to land, to move through transformation together in a beautiful, awakened group of women. So I'm so excited. Doors are open. Enrollment is open. Early bird lasts until February 20th, and then it goes to the normal price. If you have questions, if you're unsure, if you just want to clarify some things, you can email me. You can also book a clarity call, and I have that linked in the show notes as well. It's shaping up to be such an incredible group of women. I am so grateful. I'm seriously so excited about who's in it and people I've worked with before, people I haven't. So I would love to have you there if it's calling to you. So this week is really pretty profound. I see it as the ignition point for the acceleration of our shift in consciousness. On February 16th, the sun in Aquarius begins to square Uranus and Taurus. And this square carries into the solar eclipse in Aquarius on February 17th. So this week is sort of defined by this square to Uranus, this change maker. On February 17th, we have, of course, the Chinese zodiac, New Year, shifting into the fire horse, from the wood snake to the fire horse. That same day, we have a solar eclipse at an anaretic degree of Aquarius. And then on February 20th, we have the great conjunction between Saturn and Neptune at 0 degrees of Aries. Like I said, this is the ignition point of an entirely new era of humanity. We might not see it happening right away. It might not be tactile and tangible necessarily. We might not be able to see it with our physical eyes, but there's part of us that knows, a very deep psychic, intuitive part of us that knows that everything's changing. And this is the beginning. This week is defined by Uranian energy, revolutionary energy, breakthroughs, new life, new beginnings, fresh starts, change, rebirth. And this change is happening on a cellular level. This change is happening internally. Something is reworking, reorienting, rearranging internally. And that is what changes the external. That's what changes life. That's what changes reality. That's what changes the trajectory of human consciousness, is each of our own internal changes and shifts. And I've said this so many times, that is how we change the world, is by changing our internal landscape. If you feel helpless, if you feel hopeless, if you feel afraid, if you feel frozen, remember that we birth this new world, this new earth, this new reality, this entirely new frequency through the channel of our higher hearts, each and every one of us. And I just stopped right on that point. It was 4444 on the recording. We are quite literally activating the I am point, the 0 point of Aries, the self point. It announces, I am here. I am participating. I am alive. I am ready. And you might not even notice this in your life. You might feel like you're still swimming through those deep Piscean waters, and that's okay. What Pisces taught us, this deep dive we've been in, this deep study of Pisces, what it's taught us is that we have to trust even when it's total black darkness. Can we trust that there is a light? Can we trust that something is happening even if we can't sense it quite yet? It's a magical dark portal. We've been in the birth canal. We've been in the womb. Aries is the spark of life. It's the new beginning. It's the first emergence of light. We're moving through the birth canal and we're emerging on the other side. Even if you're consciously not there, that is okay. It's happening on a deep soul level, on a cellular level. It's happening. Can you trust it? There's nothing you need to do right now besides focusing on the internal, focusing on your own frequency, your own choices, focusing on what you can control in your own life, in your own community, your own family, because we are birthing new earth from each of our own higher hearts. And in order to do that, we have to be in touch with our higher heart. We have to be in touch with our own center. We have to be very aware of where we are creating from, the wound or the higher heart right now. The veil is so thin, we're becoming more sensitive. I don't know about you, but I have been feeling so sensitive. My psychic abilities are electric. I can just feel everything happening. I'm getting downloads nonstop. I'm talking to someone. I'm just getting so many downloads. My client work is wild right now. And these silly little synchronicities that keep happening in life where something very, I would say insignificant, but I know nothing really is, but what feels very insignificant, these little synchronicities, it just feels like a little wink from the universe. It's like, I've got you. You're good. You don't need to know everything in order to trust. Because I literally don't know where we're headed. I don't. I can feel it and sense it in my system. I have theories, but I don't know any more than you do. But what I have worked with over the last 10 years is my faith, my trust in source, my trust in God, my trust in creator. And I know at our deepest, darkest points, that is all that's there. That is the light. And although I cannot see where we're headed, I can feel and sense that light, and I know it's there, and I know we're going to be okay. And not only okay, I think we're going to be great. With this thinning of the veil, it means manifestation is more tactile and tangible and malleable. We can quite literally mold our manifestations in our hands. I've said this for many years, but we're moving into a time where we are going to be manifesting in real time. That's always been available, but where we manifest from is what matters. So if we're manifesting from these dense, darker energies, we're going to be manifesting slowly. We're going to be pulling in these really dense, dark energies that are slower. But now our manifestation process, the veil is so thin, so quite literally what we believe is going to be created almost immediately. And this is going to be shocking and confronting because it means we really have to be aware of and in control over what we're believing, what our thoughts are, cleaning up what we consume, what we take in, what shapes and forms our reality. I don't know if you can feel that, but it feels like our thoughts and beliefs are becoming more immediately connected to the physical. I quite literally feel like I can sort of roll them around in my hands. I can feel and taste and touch them. So this is where we need to work right now. We still need to go inward. We still need to do this recalibration of our belief systems, our subconscious. We still need to be working with our trauma points. We need to be processing and purging. This will always be the case. And that's the work. We are quite literally shifting and recalibrating and reclaiming our creator self, our creator codes. We're moving into a time of conscious creation, embodied creation, being so finely attuned to and aware of where we are creating from, seeing the fabric that we weave, the reality of our lives quite literally emerging from our thoughts and belief systems. We're rebirthing the skills that we have within us and building a new earth from there. We're moving into a time when we will more clearly understand and be in touch with our creator self and our power to create and weave our reality in real time. And this requires strong self-responsibility, diligence, devotion, sobriety, all of Saturn's domain. Neptune is consciousness. Saturn is structure. We are quite literally reworking the fabric of our reality with this conjunction in Aries. I'll talk about that more in a moment, but first I want to start with the solar eclipse in Aquarius. It's wild that we have this eclipse this week, 3 days before this great conjunction in Aries. I mean, this is a script that I can't even imagine writing. We have a solar eclipse in Aquarius on February 17th at 28 degrees of Aquarius. And this is the first solar eclipse in the sign of Aquarius since 2018. Interesting, that's when Uranus entered Taurus in 2018. Once again, we have these endings and beginnings layered upon one another and just this magical dance. And an eclipse occurs when we have a new moon or full moon within 18 degrees of the lunar nodes. So this solar eclipse is in Aquarius, even though the north node is still in Pisces, because it's still within 18 degrees of the north node in Pisces. So this new moon in Aquarius is conjunct the north node in Pisces. And the north node is destiny. It's unfamiliar terrain. The south node is our comfort zone. It's our default. It's where we've been many times. If you're interested in lunar nodes, you should check out my course, Inner Compass. It really lays out the fine details of the north and south node, including your own personal north and south node. But the south node represents the past. It's where we've been. I like to say the south node is our karma. And the north node is where we haven't been. It's unfamiliar terrain. It's the opposite of our south node. It's the energy we're meant to be moving towards, even though it might be uncomfortable. And we've had the south node in Virgo, the north node in Pisces since January 2025. We've been in a full apprenticeship with surrender and faith, loss of control. The south node in Virgo has been forcing us to release control. The north node has been forcing us to surrender, to trust deeper, especially because there's so much that we can't see right now. So this north node in Pisces is activating this new moon in Aquarius. It's not our comfort zone. It's asking something of us. It's birthing a new timeline, especially because this is the first solar eclipse along the Aquarius and Leo axis in Aquarius. And it's pointing us towards the shift in July of the lunar nodes along this axis. So it's giving us a glimpse into what the next 6 months hold. And this is the first eclipse of 2026. This is opening up a new 6-month window of lessons, major upheaval, change. Eclipses are karmic. So because they're attached to the lunar nodes, they are really deeply karmic. They pull and push things without our asking. We don't get a lot of say in what happens with an eclipse season. They're wild karmic storms. So much upheaval and change happens during these seasons, but trust that what's unfolding is meant for your greater and higher good. So this eclipse, because it's the first solar eclipse in Aquarius that we've had since 2018, and it's also leading us into this shift of the lunar nodes later this year, is really highlighting the new path forward, the new timeline. It opens the portal to the new chapter, the new timeline, and really foreshadows this path forward over the next few years. The North Node points us in the direction that holds the most healing and evolution, but maybe not comfort. And this solar eclipse at the 28-degree point, it's almost the anaretic degree, the 29-degree point. It's new life, but it's also letting things go. It's releasing what's keeping us attached to the past. And a new moon is a new beginning. It's the first point of a new lunar cycle. It's also the end point of an old cycle. It's at the 28-degree point of Aquarius, so we're completing something. We're actually completing Aquarius season this week as well, so there's completion energy here, but there's also new beginnings, especially because it's conjunct the North Node in Pisces. A solar eclipse is a new moon amplified, a new moon close to the lunar nodes. A solar eclipse interrupts the light of the sun, the ego, identity, leadership, will. And when it happens on the North Node, it pulls us forward, not into the comfort zone, but into our evolution. They accelerate, they close timelines, they open new ones, they destabilize what we thought was stable. Eclipse season is not gentle. It's really not meant to be. They help realign us with our karmic path. They help realign us with our evolutionary path. If we've gone too slowly, or if we're not making choices that align with the higher path, eclipses will pull us back onto it. This can feel abrupt. This can activate our fear of loss of control, and there's a general destabilization. There's a collective destabilization. We can all feel that. We are at the end of one world and at the beginning of another. And in order to birth this new world, we have to dissolve and dismantle the old. Aquarius as an archetype is collective evolution, systems, network, technology, decentralization, the future, innovation, social architecture, the group. Leo is the self, Aquarius is the field. With an eclipse here, we are quite literally reworking the collective field. We are reworking our internal and external systems to build this new earth. It's helping reveal where our individuality belongs inside of this larger collective piece. It's having us look at which systems are outdated. This eclipse is uncomfortable because it's calling us forward. It's asking for us to look at where we have outsourced our power, what systems are outdated, our internal systems and our external systems. This eclipse is also electric because it's squaring Uranus. So we have the sun and the moon conjunct. That's what a new moon is. And a solar eclipse is, we have the North Node participating in Pisces. We also have Venus in Pisces and Mars in Aquarius kind of sandwiching this solar eclipse. And we've had every new and full moon over the last few months have been interacting with Venus and Mars together. Also, with it squaring Uranus, we have this electrification of the field. Uranus is Aquarius's modern ruler, and it's the planet of awakenings and innovation and sudden changes. It's a change maker of the zodiac. So anything Uranus touches, especially something it squares, is going to go through some sort of fast, quick change, innovation, upgrade. Uranus doesn't change things for the sake of it. It changes things that need to be changed, things that need to be restructured or reworked. This eclipse is wired by Uranus. And Uranus is at the last stage of Taurus. It's its last part of the journey before it shifts into Aquarius in April. So it is prepped and primed to bring breakthroughs and sudden revelations and innovations. Now, this could be a breakdown of something, or it could be a breakthrough of something. They're really the same thing, just different stages. Sudden revelations, sudden social shifts, technological shifts, shifts around money, shifts around AI, shifts around collective consciousness. Of course, collective tension, which we've been seeing for so long. Weather events, anything that needs to be changed and shifted. It's getting electrified by this eclipse. like I said, this eclipse is pulling us forward. So it's pulling us into a new way of thinking and seeing what's possible. It's hopefully an invitation to expand our consciousness, to see beyond what was possible before. I think Uranus is the vehicle for transformation and change in this great shift in consciousness. And with Uranus being at the last degrees of Taurus, this is a fixed sign eclipse as well. So I want to say that this will affect people with fixed sign placements, especially at the late degrees and early degrees of mutable signs. So fixed signs, Taurus, Aquarius, Leo, Scorpio, and mutable signs, Pisces, Sagittarius, Virgo, and Gemini. We are standing between paradigms. We are standing between the old world and the new world. We have to let this North Node guide us. We might not see the path. We might experience a lot of dissolving before the new is being formed. Can we trust deeper? I think when we are in a time of dismantling, it can feel incredibly stabilizing if there isn't the new already being formed. That's not necessarily the case right now. We don't know what New Earth will look like. We can feel it and sense it, maybe. I can. But I have no idea what it looks like. So we are in a collective and individual trust fall with God. With this being a fixed sign eclipse, especially Aquarius, it's going to challenge our beliefs, where we're fixed or rooted in beliefs or ideas that might be outdated as well. This is kind of wanting to shake up our mental field, our consciousness. It's electrifying potential, but in that, it has to break open any fixed boxes of beliefs, ideas, boxes within our consciousness. So let yourself crack open with this eclipse. Just prepare for the unexpected. I don't know what this looks like, but this week is going to be profound. I'm getting a download as I say this, something around weather in particular, which isn't unusual. We're in the winter in the Northern Hemisphere. There can be crazy weather that forms, but there's something around weather. It could also be technological weather as well. I feel like frequency. So just go inward. Do what you need to do. Take care of yourself. Really, really notice what you're consuming. Anchor, root. Return to the practices that help you feel grounded and resourced. Aquarius is connected to the nervous system, so we need to tend that space that is our antenna. Our nervous system determines how we respond to life, and we have to care for it. I just imagine it's like I coat my nervous system with golden light so I can just feel and sense the resilience, the protection there. And this Uranian solar eclipse in Aquarius leads us into the great conjunction between Saturn and Neptune. And this is significant. I mean, this is the most significant event of 2026, perhaps of this decade, maybe even our lifetime. The last time this specific conjunction at 0 degrees of Aries between Saturn and Neptune, the last time this happened was more than 9,000 years ago, around 7,000 BC. I think there are differing timelines with this. This is what my research pulled up. So it's give or take 1,000 years or so, but regardless, this is an incredibly rare activation point. What makes it so rare is not that Saturn and Neptune are conjoining. That happens every 37 years. But what makes this rare is that it's happening at the 0 point of Aries, the 0 point of the entire zodiac. And this is profound. This is the creator point, the ignition point. Like I said, this is a free fall into a new paradigm, a new era, a new earth. And we won't see what that looks like on the other side. We must trust what Neptune and Saturn, this apprenticeship with Pisces that we've been in over the last few years. Trust its medicine. Trust, faith, surrender. befriending the unknown, befriending the dark womb of the mother. Now we're being catapulted into the birth portal and out into the light. I want to say that this can be jarring for people's systems. I, for one, don't like things that move too quickly and too fast. My nervous system freezes up. I don't like being forced or pushed into things at all. So over the last few years, I've really had to work with my nervous system to titrate sympathetic energy. We are moving into a time filled with sympathetic energy. We've been more of in a freeze collapse state over the last few years, and this is different. This year is filled with air and fire. The next era is an era of air and fire, and this is sympathetic heat, and this interacts with our systems differently. This is a push. This is an activation. This is fire and flame, ignition. This is a match, sparking new life. And this impacts everyone differently. If you have a lot of earth and water in your chart, this might feel destabilizing. It might feel like you're not prepared, or you aren't ready, or you're getting pushed into something without actually knowing what's happening. And that's the intention. I keep seeing that we're buckled into this roller coaster at the top, and we're there. So we have to trust the journey, trust the ride, trust that we're meant to be here right now, that we've been preparing for this time. Strip down, go inward. I know I've talked about this in past episodes, but I had a really, really deep reckoning with my nervous system last year. And I know personally, I knew it when I was in it, that it was in preparation for now. I knew that there was a lot of freeze that was melting and a lot of sympathetic energy in my system that had to be met and integrated. And these thresholds are not gentle. This is abrupt. This is confronting. This is us having to face our fears. And this is big. These are fears that kind of existed lifetimes ago. I keep having this fear surfacing around, will I miss the boat? I keep thinking that. I feel behind. I'm like, am I missing the boat? Am I not doing something I should be doing? Am I going to miss this shift? And a lot of it's unconscious, but I've been working with my own somatic mentor and practitioner with this, and it's a common theme that I'm seeing. And I realize for me, there's a cellular remembering of many past lives of actually missing the boat, of being behind, of being left behind. Maybe Atlantean timelines, but I'm not sure. There's just this sense and feeling that I am not prepared for what's to come. And I know I am, but there's something deeper there that wants to be integrated. So I've been working through that. If you've been feeling that, or if you're just feeling the intensity of the time and uncertainty around where you're moving or where you're heading, it's okay. You don't have to have it all figured out to be on the boat. If you're listening to this podcast, you're on the boat. You're good. You're safe. You're coming. You're ready. And maybe you're listening to this and you're like, girl, I've been ready for years. And I love that. Maybe you're more oriented to fire and heat and pressure and movement. This is your time, regardless. The work is to go inward, to strip down, to simplify, to focus on what resources you, what feels sustaining and grounding and supportive. This conjunction at 0 degrees of Aries is a merging of Saturn and Neptune, a merging of their light, of their shadow, of how it exists within us. Saturn is structure, form, responsibility, karma, weight, density, time, consequence. It represents our time on the physical plane. Neptune is disillusion, spirit, dream, ideals, illusion, propaganda, mass consciousness. These are very different energies. This is like a push and pull. It's structure and disillusion. It's boundaries and enmeshment. When these two come together, we get collapse of false structures. We get the crystallization of dreams. We get the exposure of delusion and illusion. Throughout history, this has been called the fall of empires conjunction. Neptune dissolves, Saturn builds. Neptune dissolves Saturn's structures that are not rooted in truth or reality. And Saturn builds what Neptune hasn't been able to build quite yet. The dreams that are ready to be built with integrity, with practicality, with resources. Now these, mixed with the 0 point of Aries, this is all about creating consciously, rewiring our drive, our will, our response. Aries is our will, our drive. This 0 point is the I am point. It's the first sign of the zodiac. It's the first sign of Aries. It is the I am point, the creator point, the cardinal ignition point, the archetypal first breath. It's where we claim life and claim self, claim identity. And here at this point, we begin a new era of consciousness. This is the birth of new consciousness, a new identity structure. This is a pivotal point in the shift of consciousness. This is a rebirth of new life. This is where we start to actually create the infrastructure of a new world. This is where we build dreams. What Saturn is helping stabilize now will continue to unfold for years, decades, centuries. Here, illusion meets consequence. Dreams must take form. Faith must become embodied. Spirituality must become actionable. Neptune in Pisces dissolved so much, but it also brought a lot of illusion to the table. This is a sobering moment. The fog clears. The reckoning arrives. And we have to decide how to move forward. This is where we get to claim our right, our will to choose and weave the fabric of reality. This is where we realize our divinity, our co-creative role with the universe, with God, with Source. This is where we own our power fully and completely. And this is the ignition point, the spark. If Saturn and Neptune were in Aries together, just, dancing together would be one thing. But they're meeting at the 0 degree point of Aries. This is a spark. This is not subtle. This conjunction marks the birth of a new cycle in collective consciousness. Saturn is helping us align with and build our dreams, which are Neptune. Neptune is dissolving what Saturn can no longer sustain. Together, they collapse illusion and ask for truth in action. What's really real? What's tangible? What can we work with? What's intangible that we can make tangible? We're really invited here to take responsibility for what we believe, what we imagine, what we create. Manifestation is accelerating, and integrity becomes essential here. And this is because, like I said, we are manifesting from our belief systems. So we have to get in there and do the work to rework what we believe. Is it aligned with the heart, or is it aligned with fear? Is it aligned with wounding? We have to clean it up. That's the message of now, is I know many of us have been doing this work. If there's still fragments or pieces or parts there, take the time, go inward, tend to them. There's no race. You don't have to do it within a certain period of time, but this is a magical portal to rewire things at a rapid, unprecedented speed. And I will say, throughout history, Saturn-Neptune conjunctions really correlate with big restructurings, economic realignments, ideological restructuring, institutional reform, the collapse of illusions around leadership, Aries' leadership, mass awakenings or mass confusion. This is what you see on a lot of Instagram. There's talking about the dissolving of the idols, and I've been talking about that for a while. That's where this comes into play. This is a time where we're sobering up. This is the end of waiting. This is a call to embody what we believe, to show up for it. We're dissolving fantasy and demanding accountability, demanding embodied aligned action. This is the point where we get to claim the weaving of a reality through conscious aligned choice. So I feel like in this Neptune and Pisces era, we've been sort of sleepwalking in a lot of ways. Sure, I mean, amazing things have been created and initiated, but many of us have been walking in illusion. This is the point where we reclaim our place as a co-creator, and we get to do it sober. So I think there is not a better time to become sober than now. Because where we're creating from is what our reality will look like. And if we are creating from a dissociated, sleepy place, our reality will be confused, it will be foggy and uncertain. But if we can take the time, if we have the resources to be sober and to manifest from a sober place, to see our reality with clear, open eyes, we can create incredible systems, internal and external, for the future. So this eclipse, I think, is going to bring forward some revelations around what we believe, what we have believed, maybe things that we've believed that are not actually true, fixed beliefs around how things should be, and hopefully we'll blast it open so that we can expand our potential wider than we ever imagined. I will say, there are shadow aspects to this time as well. Neptune in Aries can also look like ideological extremism, religious radicalization, national identity formation, martyr complexes, propaganda structured into policy. We've been seeing this for a while, and it's starting to take shape and form more rapidly. When we have spirit fusing with ego without awareness, we get crusade energy. And Neptune in Aries is aligned with a lot of crusade energy throughout history. When Saturn fuses with Neptune without discernment, we get dogma. So everything is about discernment and sovereignty right now. So we're standing at this point. It's almost like the Fool in the tarot deck, this beginning point where we have no idea what the road ahead looks like. 1 foot in the old world and 1 foot in something completely uncharted and new. Can we trust a little deeper? Can we tend to what we have control over while still leaving so much room and space for magic to unfold? I always say when our palms are gripping to something that we're afraid to let go of, or gripping to an outcome we'd like to see unfold, we have no space for miracles to occur. So stay planted and be open to miracles. Root, ground, resource, tend to what you can control, and keep your heart and palms open to unexpected gifts. And for this week, I pulled the Praying Mantis card from the Untamed Elemental deck, and it's all about meditation. It says, difficult to spot as she rests in the leaves, Praying Mantis is revered for her ability to remain still. When she does move, she steps deliberately. Nothing is done without intuitive verification, which assures her safety and success. In this way, Praying Mantis communes with otherworldly modalities of truth. In her world, the unforeseen does not exist. Rooted in the stillness of her rumination, she remains open and certain, a prophet of tranquility. Praying Mantis appears when the medicine of meditation is most required. The more complex life gets, the more you will benefit from the truth offered by your inner sage. The price for this wisdom is to immerse yourself in the calm waters that exist beneath the waves of worldly distractions. Make space for the voice within to speak. Praying Mantis will guide you towards stillness and clarity. This is her territory. When it's balanced, you feel informed by internal wisdom. When it's imbalanced, frenetically driven by the ebb and flow of the outer world, to bring into balance stillness and meditation. And I love this so much because this aligns with the medicine of now, which is that we're in between worlds. We cannot control what's happening externally. What we can control is how we respond to it. And if we are not in a current state of crisis, if we are not in a war zone, if we're not in a place where our life is threatened, we get to choose how to anchor the light. And that is our job and role during this time, is to anchor the light for the collective consciousness. So those who are in strife and crisis can access the light that is maybe unavailable to them. Wild beauty can emerge from crisis, from times of darkness and destabilization. Just remember that and trust that in the darkness, new life is merging. Even if you can't feel or sense it quite yet, it is. Thank you, as always, for being here. I know this was a longer episode, but there was just way too much to cover for a short 30 minutes. So I'm so grateful. I would love to have you in the vessel if your heart is calling to it. If not, there are so many other offerings. I have my 2026 forecast workshop. I have many, many podcast episodes that you can go back and listen to. I have a Substack. You can either do a free subscription or you can support the production of this podcast by paying $8 a month to subscribe to my podcast. I'm tripping over my words. And receive more in-depth, a little bit more personal shares. I'm going to be doing this week a deep dive on Saturn. And if you're in a Saturn square, Saturn opposition, Saturn return, what that looks like for you and just how it is to relate to Saturn in general. So Substack is a wonderful place to get deeper dives. $8 a month. You can support the podcast production as well because I don't take sponsors. So